go. One of the most storied teams in Rainbow Six, and oh my god.
It's a lot of blue.
Jeez.
55%. Yep.
That is a lopsided pull. Given the fact that Heroic actually come in as the favorites just on points alone, by a single point, mind you.
It's all those overtimes that they get into, you know? They're always racking in points guaranteed. Whereas FaZe, well, they suffered a loss early on. Got Nuke being banned up by Heroic first. Follow-ups by Ying from FaZe. Ying seeing a lot of ban throughout this tournament so far. Nuke, of course, it's been a same old tale, always banned off the board by most teams. Castle, a target ban from FaZe. Now windows and particular areas in the map will no longer be as safe as before. Asami and those keep barricades can kind of substitute those missing cancel barricades. And yes, Asami will be left open as Valkyrie is the last defender to be banned off the board. So the scene is set between these two teams. The desk kind of spoke about the map pool. Chalet into Bank into Clubhouse seemingly favors FaZe Clan quite heavily, at least if you look at the historical trend from these two teams. Heroic, they gotta fight for every single round that they're gonna get.
I like the way that these operator bans have changed up, matchup through matchup. I mean, you tell me, oh, a castle ban. That's a bit interesting. You tell me, oh, a thermite ban in the match that we had earlier. You'd say, oh, well, that's actually crazy. When was the last time we saw that one?
Yeah.
And I'm just going through some of the notes from our matches yesterday. But on Skyscraper, Lost 1 versus BDS, there was a Bandit ban.
Yeah.
There was a Lion ban and a Malusi ban in that same matchup. Two operators that are not banned with the same frequency that they used to be. So far, in terms of operator bans, the ones that have dominated, you've got your staples. You've got Ying, you've got Nook, you've got Solus, Mira, Valkyrie. These are the operators that you expect to see removed from action. So every now and then, when there is an operator that doesn't tend to get banned with the same level of frequency, I think it's always worth mentioning.
No, it is. I mean, one operator for this tournament that's kind of really been banned out more frequently is actually Ayana. Because there are so many Ayana-like mains at this tournament, like somebody like Mowgli, like Shaiko, etc., that it quite often warrants a ban. At C4, almost takes out 2 members of FaZe, but this is a little bit too early tossed. June, by the way, is tied second in opening kills for the entire tournament. He's been doing quite well so far. Of course, still a rookie, I would argue. It's still early in his career.
I'd say so.
He's played in Tier 2, played with Fabian for a bit, actually.
Noodle and Joom have both impressed me a ton in the way that they have played on this team, but honestly the player who's impressed me the most is Sloth. He wasn't supposed to be on this squad. He came in when there were issues with the team getting their full roster, and he's been phenomenal. Just like that shot from Noodle. First kill of the entire series onto Cyber. That's the Esports Awards Player of the Year, and well, he's not going to be able to do too much. Noodle has those glasses enabled, and as you can see, completely defeats those flashbangs, renders them useless. Doesn't want to engage with Astro. I think that's a good amount of respect that's paid to a player like Astro.
Well, certainly. When these walls being opened up, Heroic playing for an offensive defense here on Masabajum. Gonna fight for it.
That's a second kill from Heroic. Down goes Bullet. Zofia, an operator who isn't spotted as much in the wild as she used to be. Joom on Chimney. He sweeps out Souls. They know that there's been a call made on the balcony. That's where Astro was about a minute and a half ago. He hasn't moved off of this position. Still there. There's one EE, 1D left for Vidaking. You can make 10 seconds, 5 seconds, give or take, where Heroic won't want to contest or challenge. They're both posted up on the balcony now.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wait for Heroic to swing in this scenario. It's a 2v5. You can't just walk on in. There are so many crossfires. You see it. One member prone, one member boosting the table. You're not gonna win that gunfight. So we're waiting instead for something to happen. Knowing Heroic, though, you know, somebody like Noodle, like Joom, they might get a little bit
antsy.
Yeah. Go for a pick.
That's exactly what Joom did. Pop down from Chimney. Astro and in pursuit. Vidaking jumps in the library. That's a spot that was held by this Heroic squad. Noodle will continue posted up. They don't know that Astro's fallen off of balcony. He's the last one left. He lurks down in the lobby. A flawless round to start for Heroic would be a statement, that's for sure. Can Astro do something about it? Stop it? Oh, he does a serious amount of damage. Noodle gets the kill. The timer doesn't even run out. Excellently played by Heroic, and they don't suffer a single death in round one.
Nope, I mean, they had Doc as well, so Noodle took that damage early on because he gets stinned right back to full HP. Beautiful shot to open things up. Doom, again, a freebie. FaZe not seemingly fighting back in the early stage of that round. A convincing one for Heroic. But the thing is, that massive bedroom bomb site, while you can open up all those walls and play aggressively off of it, the other bomb sites don't necessarily play that way. Bar bomb site itself, not very defendable. That's why you gotta go up one floor and extend somewhere else in the map. You can't just play inside a bar itself. Of course, the basement bomb site, same story. Once those external walls gets opened up, it is a tough position to play in as a defender.
The lineup that's being brought out by Heroic, one operator that we don't see as frequently as we used to is that Wamai. Wamai and Jaeger's pick rate has actually fallen in comparison to where they used to be back when they were almost always must picks on every single map, and especially on Chalet. If you were defending that basement, a Wamai was a requirement because it helped keep those doors closed to the garage. It would also help save your behind in wine when you were looking in the other direction. But I think the prevalence of Azami and Frost coming into Chalet as well as being a must-pick for a lot of teams has completely changed things up. You're not so worried about these grenades. Also, the fact that fewer operators in the meta have access to grenades has made a huge difference.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You know, Maverick and Fink, that changed to those operators both losing the frag grenades, made a significant dent in the utility economy of the attacking lineup. And therefore, you are now safer than ever before in the past. Noodle, hiding by this fridge location, takes the engagement. He loses. Soul's actually not taking a single point of damage either. Uncharacteristic for Noodle to whiff in that scenario, but sometimes that happens. Opening pick for FaZe.
They immediately burn an EU1D on FaZe's side to ensure that there's no refrag, no trade. Now that there was a follow-up to be had from Heroic, Noodle was largely playing by himself. An unsupported roam. There's only certain teams that employ that style, Nick, because not every team has the confidence to let somebody play off on their own.
No.
Some teams play aggressively for trades, and others play like individuals. Heroic seemingly doing a nice mix of both at the moment.
Always aggressive when they have to. Doom there leading the front again. Second Lion Charge comes out. FaZe not really acting upon that. Doom jumps out as a response, does a bit of damage, gets back inside in safety.
Wow. Missed opportunity. A window prime flashes go out. Joom spotted by the window. Vida King, his first kill in this series. Cyber as well on the board. Heroic falling to pieces. FaZe are a single kill away from a flawless of their own. What? Uno gets Cyber as he falls down the hatch. But he has next to no HP, and he has a magazine that runs out very quickly. Not an ideal spot to find yourself in. FaZe might have suffered a single death. They still end up winning the round, very nearly getting a flawless to answer Heroic's flawless in the first.
It wasn't just a fall down that hatch. There was a literal hot drop booty first to the ground kind of style, and he almost gets away with it, but Uno survives with just 1 point of HP. FaZe looking very different in round number 2 compared to round number 1. Much more comfortable and confident. The early gunfight in the basement, big impact really, as Noodle gets taken off the board early, but also FaZe, they can say for the first time in the first 2 rounds that they actually got a man advantage. Build that momentum, bring it forward. FaZe Clan plays, at least with the previous roster and thus far, I'd say more like a European team with Latin aggression and confidence than they play like a typical Latin regionals team. They play these kind of like execution-oriented operators like the Lion, like the Capital. They play very structured, but they also play domestically in that time. They have that aggression, that explosion. They can just push at any moment, rush your bomb side, go for those crazy entries, and like Demo and X spoke about on the desk, they have really aggressive support play in someone like Souls, who joined the team as a Thermite player, who nowadays is granted more freedom to shine on that entry/secondary entry role, and also do a bit of flexing with his operator pool, leaving other members of FaZe on that supportive cast. Right now, for example, it's Astro on the 0, Secondary hot breach in the can openers, brings the intel with the SAM cams, and is going to spend a ton of time this round on drones, just establishing that information and locking down the map rotations for FaZe.
So far, 2 rounds, both decided quite decisively.
Almost 2 flawless in a row for different teams.
Both rounds, Library was the main focus on defense, or at least maybe not the main focus, but at least a very, very, very heavy focus on the first round, and definitely the main focus on the second. This time around, it's a part of the map that has been completely ignored by the defense. Noah Zami played up there with those Kiba barriers. This kitchen defense has Heroic playing over top of bedroom. Noodle decides to take the engagement, Sloth falls. First kill goes to FaZe in this round. Astro accomplishes that on a spot that he's very familiar with, which is the balcony outside of office door. That's where he spent most of that first round, if you'll recall.
I mean, look at this. If you're Noodle, you're under pressure from every single angle. A nice trade on the jump out from June, but the damage is done. FaZe, they get that piece of map control, and they still have the advantage.
Astro will fall to Uno. Largely off-site. Surprised we're not actually seeing more Zero play, Nick, with how strong he is at the moment.
I agree.
Good secondary gadget, good gun, and incredibly powerful anti-flank. And if not even on anti-flank, just scouting tools as well. Grizzly's been downed. He's playing inside of the bomb site. Looks like FaZe has control of the upstairs directly over kitchen. Gonna be a thorn in the side of Heroic. Uno, I guess he just didn't see him because bullets seem to be on the screen for quite a while. June from above connects on one, but Vida King endures. Grizzly, who's been picked back up, is the last player for Heroic. A much closer round between these two teams.
Yeah, but 20 HP and a flank here. I mean, with those SAM cams, some of them being positioned already, there is more than likely a scenario where FaZe, they have the information required. They're on the bomb site immediately.
Getting the diffuser down. The halfway mark now. Wrong call on that yellow ping. But they know that Grizzly is up top, and because of his HP, all they need to do is get a single shot on him. It's the DMR in the hands of Vida King. So that thing, no matter where it hits you on the body, is an insta-kill on Grizzly. The one thing Grizzly has going for him is that Alda is a nasty weapon and can engage multiple people very easily, but he needs information. He sees the feet, cannot fully connect, but because there's so many bullets he can spray away, and he still has 36 remaining. His bullet is downed. Now it's all up to Vida King, who's just waiting. Right down trophy stairs, leaving Solarium. Grizzly's only able to get one. Not even, because it was a down. FaZe have won 2 in a row.
The ballsy plant position for FaZe. The floor was opened up by Grizzly, but he didn't swing the far left side of it. He could have actually seen the planter, but instead, you know, bomb goes down, 2v1 enabled. And even though that Heroic had a bit of information on the bomb side, it wasn't enough for Grizzly to capitalize on both members of FaZe. Having to retake with 15 seconds left does not bode well for him. FaZe plan building these rounds up slowly but surely. 2-1 in favor of them. Bar bomb side again being attempted by Heroic. Last time, almost a flawless for FaZe. Things are falling apart very quickly. This upstairs hold from Heroic is their focus point. FaZe clan, I think it was Demo who said it, they can pick apart any defense you put into their FaZe. They do not care about strategical setups. They have a way every single time. So far, that's true. The only thing that really stopped them was round number 1. That was pure aggression and individual gunfights from Heroic that stopped them dead in their tracks. It was not a strategical issue per se.
Back to Bar Gaming. The upstairs bomb site is open yet again. They choose not to go to the one site that they want. I guess they'll keep it in their back pocket, assuming that they can be successful in Bar Gaming this time. They only got a single kill the last time they went here.
Last time Noodle died early, I remind you, so this time he's maybe gonna play a bit more cautiously. He is still isolated, playing very alone on that master bedroom position. Grizzly, the closest member, is at a piano. Just making sure nobody creeps in that office door. It can be hard to hear if you're so far off the map as Noodle is. The entry points that are very likely to happen from FaZe. Killer drone, fall back one room, linker around for a bit longer. The coast is no longer clear It seems like FaZe are going to be entering from that solarium side. Noodle is probably not going to stick around for too much longer. Once that pressure gets applied, there it is. West main stairs, up we go into solarium and dining room itself.
Very quick, but just because they are but a couple walls away from the bomb site does not necessarily mean that they're preparing for an execute. I mean, look at how close you get to the bomb site in Clubhouse, but in all reality, you might be close in proximity, but you're not close in ability to pull anything off.
That's a good way to put it.
Second logic bomb will go now.
It's two very quickly back-to-back, actually.
So maybe the execute is coming a little bit faster, Nick.
Maybe, but at the same time, FaZe are still setting up, waiting for Cyber now on the blue stairs, but the barbed wire was going to stop him. Yeah, one blue stairs, one fire blue stairs, two guys dining hall. This could be the execute coming soon.
At the halfway point now, and all you need is the sound of the starting gun. They've droned their way up into lobby. Souls might get a good vantage point, but he's wary of lobby. Grizzly, the first one down. That sounds like a nade hitting its mark. Sloth falls as well. Two players from Heroic are out of action. One still can be picked back up. They're very close to the bomb site. Does Uno know that somebody's behind him? Joom down now. Grizzly still bleeding out. Heroic only has two left. Skeleton key to secure. FaZe taking damage, but goodness gracious, they've swamped the bomb site. Noodles in a 1v5. Over top of the hatch. Flash up, he'll move. They'll hear his footsteps from below. They'll watch those stairs leading to the top. He plays off those angles, and he can't really do much as the diffuser goes down. Noodle in a hopeless situation. All of FaZe will now move to the post plant. Well, what do you do if you're Noodle? Well, take some serious damage on the library balcony, that's one thing. And can't shut down Cyber one bit. Flawless round from FaZe, it eluded them, but they get it this time.
I mean, if you're Heroic in that round, you have to wonder where even are FaZe on the map. They are nowhere to be found. They didn't expose themselves to a single 1v1. No gunfights were taken. They're just setting up at their own terms. You know, hiding in basement, going towards dining, making sure all the pieces at the right positions, and then striking within 20 seconds. Tactical timeout from Heroic being taken after round number 3. 4.
Trying to get help. He can't get help because slot can come. The windows are open. This is because we don't react on the calls even earlier when it's being called. We're just holding angles. We're just standing there like this. Let's be a bit proactive. It's actually contestant. Let's not give them all of the map control. If they're not coming my way, it's one guy there. Why do we need 3 people holding it? Come on, wake up, boys. Let's go.
Very good read by Master Officer. Very, very good read. Noodle was isolated, rather solo roaming inside a Solarium master bedroom. He knew that area of the map was clear. Then you have 4 members on the bomb site being like, well, the bomb site's clear too. But then, like, what about everything else, essentially? They are just holding angles and corners, and like he very, very nicely demonstrated, just standing like this with their finger guns out, essentially. That's not the way you gotta play against any team for that matter, unless you're fearing a site rush, for example. Contest the map, get out there. You can spread thin initially, see what the injuries are, then fall back. It looked like they were doing that early on. Grizzly and Piano, Noodle inside of Solarium, they were playing off the bomb side, but they very quickly fell back. If nothing's happening on the map, you have to wonder, okay, either they're right outside the side window at double bar, or they're everywhere we are not. If you're checking the default cameras as a defender, you can also tell where the attackers are going to be coming from. If basement cam is dead, and basement cam is dead, and you're defending bar, or they're hitting you from the north side of the map on the main floor, as well as the basement. So you can quickly kind of figure out where that strike will come from and then act accordingly. Either stop them from achieving their plan, or just fight them right before they feel comfortable to execute.
It's an early lion, Nick.
Again, yeah.
Very early lion.
It's the anti-spawn peak lion of some sorts. A little bit of C4 again. My toss out the window. Did it last time in round number 1. Lands right below near the garage door. Right next to Vidaking. There it is.
Nitro Cell, though, doesn't connect.
Second time in 4 rounds? It's rather frequent, yeah.
I think my guess was probably somewhat correct. I obviously don't want to pat myself on the back here, but
Do it.
I think the idea was, okay, we can tackle bar gaming this time. We feel confident in it. We feel like we fixed our mistakes. We'll go to bedroom. We've already won that once. That's 2 good rounds for us. Obviously, bar gaming did not turn out the way they want, and now maybe just trying to stick with that plan. They're all the way back here at the bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. You can fight them the way you did last time, but FaZe are not going to attack it 2 times in a row in the same fashion. So first time they try on that office balcony fireplace attack. Now they're going to flip it on its head. They're going to go towards that solarium, repel, and just clear from that side of the map instead. Not give them gunfights. Not the way they want to, at least, if you're heroic.
Oh, nicely baited out on the Sloth. That was somebody who was talked about, but Joom goes flying off the top ropes, it seems, to kill Vidaking. Uno's fallen as well. The Doc is down. No heal potential. That was something that was actually paramount the last time that Heroic defended this bomb site, because the Doc gives you that level of sustain. Already, Noodle had taken some damage, and he's finished off. If he was at full HP, is that the same result? Who knows? Grizzly has his teammates back. Heroic still trail. FaZe with a minute to go, have an advantage by 1.
Yeah, that's not much. Joom, if there's anyone who can fight back right now, it's him. And he's, you know, also moving closer towards his opponents rather than staying back in the bomb site itself. Many stuffers said, fight them, contest them, stop them from taking map control. Joom is literally chasing, hunting, lurking around, doesn't find the kill. But there's such a bit of pressure on towards members of FaZe that are inside of that trophy area.
Oh, it's been a while since I actually heard an air jab. Doesn't seem to have the same effect that it used to. God, Nomad used to be so feared. It still will be here, but with Heroic having only 2 players left, I'm not sure they're going to want to go for a flank. Grizzly might now have to, as he's gotten a pick and dropped through the hatch. He's last man standing. Again, Grizzly will need to clutch up for his team. Continuously putting himself and having his team get put into this tough spot. Good patience to take down the Nomad. That's the diffuser surrendered as well. Souls will need to retrieve it. With 2 seconds left, he should be able to, but he's now past the point of no return and decides to go for the engagement. Probably the right call, but it doesn't work out. And each team has 1 player up, but the clock gives the round to Heroic.
Disappearing act heavily favoring Grizzly. He killed 1 member, fell down the hatch. It looked like it was not necessarily intended for him to drop. Whether that was, I cannot say, but it worked out beautifully in his favor. He stealthed up the staircase, walked ever so slowly to make sure he was not hurt from the opponents, and paid off. 3-2, still in favor of FaZe. And they got a couple of operator tricks up their sleeves because they are keep flexing how they want to approach these rounds. Capital, the Nomad, the Zero, the Lion, now next up, possibly the Munty. We've seen a fair bit of Munty play throughout inside 2023, and I will say it has not been with the most amount of success. MAD Bank, they had that scenario happen against Heroic yesterday where they lost a round. The Sonics, they played it twice earlier today. They lost both of those rounds as well. But the most success. And FaZe, they gotta change away from it as well. From Munty onto Thermite instead, bring that hard destruction to the Steining bomb site. Heroic keep extending up above, of course, as you should. Bunch of soft walls, long lines of sights, deployable shields to play behind to grant you a bit of cover. The keeper barriers from Asami, very noteworthy at that, because you need this operator to play as aggressive as Heroic they are, to patch up holes, create angles and safety areas, and sometimes double punch prep your own barricades.
Downstairs to kitchen, 1 bomb site in particular, absent. No garage play just yet.
My thinking is that FaZe is such a heavy execute team that that's kind of how placement plays out. It's heavily favoring the execute style of Rainbow Six Siege. Because Heroic did play basement last time they went to Chalet, so it's definitely some bombs that they are comfortable with playing. And none of these operator bans suggest that it's a weaker bomb site by any means.
This library has been a big focus, but again, because of the bomb site, it's not much of a concern for Heroic.
He's just hiding downstairs.
Oh, that was not the real deal. You got bamboozled. You got bamboozled. Joom has intel. At least 1 player directly above him inside of library. Might actually be out on the balcony.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. You know, it doesn't matter how many hours I put into this game myself. Hold on a second here. Joom finds the real deal, and he loses to it. That's not an illusion this time. My point was that it doesn't matter how many times I play this game, I still can't visualize the rooms above exactly the way I want to. I have a general idea, but not specifics.
Some players just got it, and then some do not. I'm similar, where I just can't map it out. Then I have teammates from the past that just know exactly where everything is. I'm like, how do you do it? And like, we just know. Very important trick here. Put the thermite charge or extra thermite charge crouched on the wall. It denies the impact trigger, makes it more difficult to do. That's why this wall gets opened up.
Yeah, absolutely. They try again, 45 seconds, and there's a bit of swiftness. Souls from below. This is why he's widely considered to be one of the best support players in the world. This is a common spot. It should go, but there's nobody in the proximity. Noodle's playing up top on that bathroom hold. Sloth not too far away. Sloth having a particularly rough game at the moment. Work to be done. Diffuser at the halfway point. FaZe getting it down next to the bomb chassis. Sloth and Noodle are gone. Uno to stop another flawless round for FaZe. This first half for the Brazilian team has been very impressive. Doesn't seem to know where they are. They see him though. A bullet or two will tag Vidaking, and Bullet gives the flawless. So close. We could have had 4 flawless rounds if only FaZe had not surrendered a single death in round number 2. 4 of 6 rounds could have been flawless. That is outrageous for this first half.
Oh, it is. It's very impressive. And the discipline as well in that 1 versus 5 post-planned. Everyone's just kind of picking their area, waiting, and then when they got sick of it, they swung 3 people at the same time to take out Uno for that flawless round. And it seems like FaZe hasn't skipped a beat, even with the roster change. Now, we are having a technical timeout for just a second here. Unsure exactly why that is. We'll update you if we get that information. The coaches cannot talk to their players during this time, but the players themselves can, of course, interact with one another.
It's like can you explain exactly what is
Something's happened, but that's not in our game.
Like, I can feel it, I can see it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ghosts in the machine.
Yeah. A tale as old as time. Technology can be tricky sometimes. I will say I was expecting more talk from the players about what they might want to do next. Unless, of course, they've been told please not to talk too much during these times. I'm not sure what the official ruling is these days.
So I spoke with a player in the elevator down earlier today.
Okay.
And I said, you know, oh, I enjoyed the things that you and your team have been saying, yada, yada, yada. It's been for very good content. And they go, yeah, we got told yesterday that we could get picked up on the cams and that, you know, maybe to watch your language a little bit because what you're saying is live.
Yeah.
And then they said, whatever.
No, I mean,
Oh yeah, here sometimes.
were you sitting on the same station as well?
I don't think so.
Okay. You were sitting on the other side.
Yeah, but it wasn't this bad.
Okay. Let's see. Can you repeat real quick? I want to check one thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Alright.
I suspect that with this sort of thing, it could be a while.
Yeah. It certainly looks like a mine.
Because this is a something doesn't feel right type situation, not a here is the exact issue. See, if it's something like, oh, our voice comms aren't working, or oh, my mic isn't working, there's usually an easy fix to that. Usually.
Yeah. Now they gotta figure out what it is in the first place.
Yeah, now you have to diagnose it, then you have to problem solve, then you actually have to get the fix in.
I like how he's just like pressing his escape key continuously over and over again, like, that's gonna fix it. Nah, it's some sort of issue with Doom's PC or something like that. And we'll see if it's gonna be a minute or a little bit more than a minute. In the meantime, this kind of content we've gotten from technical timeouts and getting insight into coaches and players' thoughts when they share both happy thoughts and negative thoughts amongst one another have been extremely enjoyable to witness. And very glad that it's still around despite all the the things that get said that might not be as camera friendly as maybe it should. Because I did fear some things that players could, you know, say in the heat of the moment when you're playing. Because let's be honest, these players are not thinking, oh, they might be listening in, let's completely watch our language. No, they're gonna say, you know, screw this team, they suck. In a much worse way than that.
Say it.
Oh, I'm not. No, don't dare me.
Say it, coward.
Say, coward. I've said my fair share of trash talk during games, and back then they did not monitor our voices, so no one's ever gonna hear that side of me publicly. And I've done my fair share of trash talk on stream, which has been heard by many people publicly. It's all behind me now. I'm a good boy.
Of course.
A better boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fully become a good boy once you turn bad boy. And the girls love the bad boys, Parker, right? So
You know, I'm just so used to being the bad boy.
you're so used to being the bad boy.
That's
You,
a
got,
quote.
you know, you actually got a bad boy outfit on today. You got like the leather jacket.
I do, actually.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I do have the bad boy outfit on. You know, I got the leather jacket, black t-shirt,
Yeah,
blue jeans,
yeah.
black shoes.
Oh, yeah, and you got your nails done as well. You got the whole thing.
They're starting to wear.
Yeah,
There's just a
Wear and tear.
single coat that was put on somewhat hastily Tuesday morning.
yeah.
So, of course, it will wear off.
Only thing you're missing is a bike, like a motorcycle. Then you got the full thing.
Motorcycles are statistically very unsafe motorcrafts, and I will never
That is
pilot one.
such an unsexy thing to say. And such a non-bad boy trait to say as well.
I'm just so used to being the bad boy, man.
Oh my god.
I am a bad boy, therefore everything I say is that of a bad boy.
That's not how it goes.
So that is a ripoff of a Parks and Rec quote,
Okay.
where Ron Swanson says something and Leslie Knope goes, "That's not the attitude of an award winner." And he goes, "I have won an award, therefore everything I do is the attitude of an award winner."
Nice. I mean, technically not incorrect, no?
I
Technically, right.
don't know if the problem has been resolved, but Joom is back in the game. So that is good. It's a step in the right direction.
Uno's shirt, hoodie, jacket, whatever you want to call it, it always gives me G2 vibes. But then I see the Heroic logo when the camera turns. Because it's all white jerseys from Heroic, but then he's wearing like a full black shirt, essentially. Did that
Why
throw you off?
did he play for G2 or something? It
Yeah, I think there was a time
was weird. I don't remember that.
where he was maybe... Yeah, like Rally Major kind of time, maybe.
Oh.
In my 2020 kind of time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for a brief moment, you know?
Yeah, just for a brief moment, of course.
Didn't unfortunately lift the trophy with them, although it was very close. And if there was a player that I wish I could have lifted a trophy, especially with me in Union, it would have been Uno.
It would have been me. Oh.
Parker, you've never played professional Siege before. Me
That's not correct. I have played Rainbow Six Siege in a Twitch Rivals event, and I actually I actually have higher winnings than I used to actually have higher winnings than a lot of people.
I mean, I guess that would be true.
You know what's actually a funny little anecdote?
What?
I know that's gonna make some people sad, but it's okay to be sad.
Okay.
I believe last I checked, because of the Twitch Rivals events and because he never played in one and retired early, I actually think I have higher winnings as a professional Rainbow Six player than Kickstar.
Oh my god, no.
So in that case, it makes me more
No.
successful.
There's no way. I mean, okay.
You run to Liquipedia and you check that fact, but that was true for a period of time. That was true. I mean, it's entirely possible that I think that's the last time I checked because I made fun of him for it. I think the last time I checked was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it might not be true. Maybe he played in one and I just didn't know, or
Yeah.
he played in something else. I have no idea. But there was a period of time. There was also a period of time where somebody had like $27 in winnings.
Fantastic
I
amount.
can't remember. This is like winnings, $27, and it's like, this is a joke.
Oh, speaking of, I think it's Shaz's
Yes.
page. Yeah. He has like $500 or something as winnings, and he's like, oh, I didn't do too bad. It's like, bro, you won like back-to-back invites, multiple Pro League finals. Career earnings, $500.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
It's hard out here.
It is. You gotta really work for your money in this industry.
Money's tight, Pepe hands.
Yep.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the first half, because even though the problem seems to be resolved, there was an issue with the matchup. So we are resetting the lobby. We appreciate your patience. Bomb sites that were played. Bedroom was played twice. Kitchen was played twice. Bar was played twice. Heroic prevailed on Bedroom both times. That was the only bomb site that they won. In terms of flawless rounds, round number 1, flawless for Heroic. Round number 4, flawless for FaZe. Round number 6, flawless for FaZe. Round number 2, FaZe suffered a single death.
Yeah.
So pretty close. That means, though, in half of the rounds played so far, Heroic only got a single kill.
Yeah, that's true.
which is a brutally, brutally bad stat.
That is as bad as it can get. It's terrible.
Well, I mean, technically 0 would be as bad as it gets, Nick.
Yeah, but almost.
I mean, technically 0 plus team kills would actually be as bad as it gets.
Oh my god. I'm actually curious about the team kills statistic for this tournament so far because we've seen a fair share.
We've actually seen a lot of them.
Double team kill grenade kill in the Sonics game earlier that we cast.
Which, by the way, did you see Grixer's tweet?
I did not see his tweet.
He tweeted out something. It was like, just for anybody's information, do not need this.
That's a wonderful tweet.
Bar Gaming is going to be the first bomb site for FaZe Clan as they move to defense.
Yeah, it's their first time, of course.
Here's something a little peculiar, though.
Okay.
There is no Azami, which
Okay.
means that Library is going to be defended very differently than we saw through the first half with Heroic.
Correct. And there are no deployable shields, which means that upstairs hold on chimney top stairs also have to held differently than typically.
Which means that pretty much you're going to look at probably a mirror window on that double panel reinforcement that's just across from chimney, and there it goes. You're going to exert phantom power.
Phantom power. Heroic also bring out some not so common operators for this bomb site. Doom on the glass, Noodle on the Nomad. There aren't really any jump outs here. And I'm not quite sure what they're gonna do. I mean, the glass typically is either bomb site rush, you're trying to attack the upstairs with smoke grenades, but I mean, Soul's got the Warden, he's ready for it in that regard. Heroic's kind of setting up right now. Maybe taking a page out of FaZe's book themselves. Taking it nice and slow. Yeah, we're just gonna go.
They're in. We're 45 seconds into the round. Diffuser's in the hands of Uno. Cyber, though, taking 2 of them down. Heroic's rush not really turning out the way they wanted to. Cyber's been dropped. Diffuser goes down all the same. Cyber secured by Joom. Playing on glass. And I imagine that Heroic are going to get far enough back.
Yeah.
FaZe are going to be in a really tricky position. Down goes Bullet. Upstairs in Library, FaZe will contend, but there will be some upside down repels that might make this particularly challenging. What can Vidaking do? Souls is still there. Astro on the diffuser. Nitro Cell goes out. Joom is far enough away to get good coverage on this. And there you go. It's a glass. Is that 4 kills for Joom? Goodness gracious.
Yeah, no, they were fucking ready, bro. Literally, I heard one footstep and poof. I'm like, okay, never mind. He just followed through the door and helped me in as well.
They might have been ready for it, but doesn't matter.
Go, boys. Come on.
2 players of Heroic sacrificed as the diffuser gets planted, and then Joom is good for 4 kills in the post plant.
Joom just screams out, "I'm a genius." It's like he did all the work, right? I mean,
I played Glass on a long-range map and got close to the window. No one's ever done this.
oh my god. Well, I mean, I would say it was a beautiful read by Heroic. I mean, there's one member near the bomb site. It was not the Warden. And sure, 2 members got annihilated back-to-back by a shotgun, I believe in the basement or somewhere else on the map at least. And as Slav said, I heard 1 footstep and then I disappeared. So yeah, it looked like that as well. But it's worth the trade of losing 2 members to successfully get down that diffuse because the post plants in Rainbow Six Siege on some of these bomb sites, as we just witnessed, almost impossible to beat as long as the attackers play it nice and far back, which that double window on bar completely allows. So all the boxes were ticked correctly for Heroic. They had a plan going into it early ahead of time, and I'm sure that the prep phase drones they managed to get into the building had a big part in that play because they got into the ready positions rather quickly. Solids was played, but didn't necessarily find all the drones they used. There is a range limitation on the gadget. Solids not gonna get brought out this round. FaZe will change things up, go down basement. That's the 4th and final bomb site that we've yet to see.
Explosion opened up, and guess what? The Goyo canister again.
Becoming more and more common. Sonics did it earlier.
We've seen it twice. Becoming more common.
Yeah, becoming more common. To stop those rushes from happening, which, if you're FaZe, understandably so, it literally just happened to you. Could always happen again. Heroics line up, and the thing, the thing that we're admitted into the round, it's obviously not going to be a rush. But the main breach is opened up. That's step number 1. then Heroic has to either map clear, which they've partially done with Noodle instead of Bar Gaming, or go for that backside execute inside of Trench. But it looks like they want the vertical controls at a lobby. Open up that floor with Sledge. Sloth waiting for his turn to get activated. FaZe Clan, they are roaming, but not in this area where Heroic they are going. They're inside of Kitchen, way far back. That soft wall open towards Fireplace. Heroic, it's going to be difficult to deal with this from a horizontal level. They would need to go above, and there it is. That breaching charge from Thatcher can do the job.
More breaching charges in the hands of Thatcher. The 1 speed.
So slow.
So slow. Very slow boy. Cyber pulls out the Nitro Cell. It's dropped Sloth, and now just narrowly evading Grizzly. They do battle, but Grizzly walks away with a single point of HP. Uno gets 1 too as Sloth now retrieved after that Nitro Cell went off. But look at the HP of Sloth and Grizzly, and in Bit of King's pocket, there's still 3 smoke canisters. That gas can do a world of hurt to this team. And a single well-tossed canister will be good enough to take 2 players from Heroic out of the fray.
These Goyo canisters, I mean, they last for 20 seconds. Those pop, they could be a problem for Heroic. The time is ticking down pretty low. Hatches open up, they can't drop, but nobody has diffuser on them. It's dropped outside the building, they have to go for kills.
That's all you can do with 25 seconds left. But the good news is that if you're Heroic, you're pretty proficient at getting kills, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. There's that gas that we talked about. Right now on blue, Vidaking getting off of that position. 1 in his back pocket, 12 seconds left, and he's hit the Goyo canister. Perfect timing. Astro a bit of difficulty, but he takes down the Thermite as he runs on in. There goes Grizzly. 2 left for Heroic, 3 for FaZe, but only a second left. Half of this lobby is still alive. Both teams just playing it safe, but Heroic played it safer. That's not what you can do on attack. You gotta get aggressive. FaZe Clan wins off time.
I'm very curious whether Heroic realized they were missing the diffuser before or after they ran into the bombs, because I checked, it was...
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Check.
as many bombs as they can.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? I think we're back.
We were gone for a second.
I was gone for a second.
We were gone for a second.
Alright. I was saying I double checked. Heroic, they never picked up the diffuser. It's still outside the building on that staircase outside of Fireplace double door. And I'm curious, when Uno ran in and said, I can't plant, guys, hello? And then they realized, oh boy, there is 7 seconds left and we don't have diffuser. Because Heroic, they like half committed to the execute. So it seemed like they didn't fully understand what was happening. And now did FaZe. FaZe are expecting a plant somewhere, waiting for it to happen, and it never did. Absolute confusing from both sides.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Well, FaZe Clan on Heroic's map so far looking strong. They'll bring the Azami this time, but likely for a different setup. Azami and Miro, when used together, not gonna be a lot to cut through if you're on attack. Good news, there are explosives for Heroic. They've got 4 Rotero drones. And right now, dare I say it, the best utility clear for bulletproof gadgets is probably Flores.
Yeah.
Yana was definitely up there at one point, so was Zof. Is there someone I'm forgetting? Maybe Sledge if he gets close to the gadgets with his hammer, but from afar, all he's got are the nades.
I think you're absolutely correct. Kali technically has 4 lances.
Yep.
That's not too bad either. Gets to be played still at this tournament.
Sloth is having a very rough game. Since coming back from the rehost, he's yet to get a kill, and I cannot recall if he got a single kill, but there you go, a caster cursed him. Sloth, the first pick, Noodle follows up. 1 minute in, and Heroic have already removed 2 very important members of this FaZe team, and a third goes. They're in the bomb site, or at least close to the bomb site. Just narrowing them down. The last 2 remaining of Souls and Astro doing late setup. Astro over top of that kitchen bomb site.
Yep.
Soul's the only one that's actually in it.
It's gotta be the latest hatch reinforcement I've ever seen, but it makes sense. Astro, he cannot hold the top floor himself, so if he falls, hatch reinforced, teammate has some cover, but Souls cannot fight 1v5 on the bomb side. He is clutch, but that would be too tall of a task for any single member, I believe.
Yeah. Absolutely is. Sloth seems to think somebody's in there, but unfortunately there is a wall in between them.
All these C4s prepped and ready. I don't know if Astro has active information, but he can play off a feeling. Pop it to walk up that staircase. Heroic, they're still going through their ABCs. They're not rushing this.
And Soul's taking damage now. He's found and destroyed Astro in a 1v5. 3 official flawless rounds. Almost a 4th was had earlier in the match. Will we see yet another? No, we won't. Astro denying a flawless round to Heroic. Looking to add more bodies to his tally. He's far back in trophy while the diffuser goes down in the hands of Uno. 4 players in Heroic now in the post plant to scramble and watch over. And it's from above. Sloth started things off, and he ends the round as well.
Get some energy. Come on, let's go.
Heroic keeping it close, and Mr. Officer trying to pump up the troops. These have been exceptionally decisive rounds. I know I said it earlier, and I might be saying it exactly the same way again.
But they are.
But when the team wins a round, it's not usually that close.
No. Speaks to the strength of both teams, but also the weaknesses, perhaps, right? When one member falls, you know, all of a sudden you start lashing out to try and even back that score, and then more fall time and time again. We saw 3 members of FaZe Clan fall in the same 20-second time span, and everyone rather far from one another. We lost one member to a grenade, one member to a jackal track, and the third to a gunfight. FaZe gotta get on the same page on those isolated members, or perhaps just bring more Nate deny, because once again, look at this, no Jaeger and no Wamai on the board. And you said, Parker, Wamai's and Jaeger's pick rate is a lot lower nowadays than it used to be. But if you're dying to grenades so frequently as FaZe are, it might be time to bring one of those top raiders to reduce those amounts of deaths. You're bringing in the Mossy and the Kaid. Those can both very easily be changed to something else. Of course, the Kaid is a strategical element. Reinforce both upstairs hatches. FaZe Clan unlikely looking to surrender the top floor once they've burned enough time, or maybe just from the very beginning, and let Heroic problem solve that throughout the round instead. It's not very common to deal with as an attacking team. Those hatches are often opened up for you, and then you just have to try and get in. Now, it's easier to get in, but then you gotta deal with hard breaching these hatches open, which is gonna be proving to be difficult.
Almost guaranteed all 12 rounds. There go those Rotero drones, at least one in. Nobody has a set of eyes on that deployable shield at the top of library either, Nick, so down it goes. No contest. I'm sure Bullet could have possibly shot it away. Same with Vidaking.
Heroic doing that slow approach of setting up, not giving away too much from their side. Sloth, in fact, is holding onto the rotation on Solarium stairs. Almost called it Astro stairs. Also, Astro playing in Villa. It's like Astros and Astro. It's always been tricky. I remember playing against FaZe myself, and we were worried about that being a call, being like Astros and Astro, and they're like, what? See, Astro's a player, and it's a call out. It's complicated.
Nades are about to sail on down. And there they'll go. Logic bombs as well, but the hatch still intact. FaZe shaken off at the spot up top.
But FaZe want this, right? I mean, that's why you reinforce the hatch, you kite claw it. They expected this outcome, and now it's like, what do we do? Well, you gotta grenade these kite claws, but the thing is, look, there are no grenades left. You can maybe get this one with the X-Kairos. You said earlier, Park, in a Sonics game, that, yeah, explosive destruction that happens when you pop the gadget, it works out. But the corner hatch inside a small box will stay reinforced.
No. Look at this.
It's a flanker, it's 2 flankers.
Grizzly inside of the tub. Rub-a-dub-dub. Rub-a-dub-dub, 1 fragger in a tub. Only good enough for a single kill. Astro shuts him down. Back down those library or those trophy stairs he goes. Much of the focus from Heroic was on that library side, still there. They have to translate that to the bomb site. Heroic down 1 player, FaZe down 2. Bullet and Vidaking have been the first to die almost every single round since coming back from the rehost. Cyber's been relatively ineffective as well, but Astro runs up library stairs. A kill, a second kill. Astro using the fire rate of that P90 to do so much damage, and he's got a backup in his pocket. Sloth and Noodle, the last 2 left. Sloth doesn't know if he has coverage. Noodle taking out Astro. All you have to worry about is Souls, who from below will get ever closer to the bomb site. Noodle sees him and does a little bit of damage to him, tries to do a little bit of damage to him, cannot connect. Diffuser down, and of course, Souls will look in the post plant for one of these two players. Holding up, nice shot from Souls. Noodle's weakened. But there's no information for Souls at the moment. Noodle knows exactly where he is. Souls doesn't. Tie game, 5 rounds apiece. We're going all the way.
And there we are, not surprised. But I will say Heroic playing much better Rainbow Six Siege than that of yesterday. Much more confident, pre-planned. I mean, they are in the right positions and they know how to deal with the problems that are portrayed in front of them. I was worried for them about that double hatch reinforcement with the Kite Claw. Unu nicely problem solved it with the X-Kairos, and they didn't even need the second hatch. They just dropped on in, took the gunfight straight out effectively, got the plant down, and that posted again, reigned superior. That took timeout from FaZe. That's the last timeout in this first map as both teams have not burnt theirs.
So let's keep on building on that. One thing though, like Uno said, we need to be careful when we're in man advantage, boys. We really need to be fucking careful. Don't give them anything, especially post-plant. Like just go far away. We had all of the information we needed. Come on, this is our game. Let's fucking go.
Yep. Heavy objective play seems to be favored by Heroic. They really want to get that plant down and get into the post plant, not have to unnecessarily fight FaZe before that if they can avoid it, and it's working out so far for them. Heroic are, I believe last I checked, top 4 in plants. Of course, the statistics that we have are a bit sometimes hit and miss because some teams have only played, you know, 3 games, some have played 4, 2 and 3, whatever. Some have had a day off, is what I'm trying to say. So, like, all these guys have played not that often, but it's like, well, they've only played 2 games instead of 3, so they've played less. There's less chances for them to plan. But Heroic, they are good at playing around the objective, and so far in this first map, every single time they get the bomb down, they're basically guaranteed the round. Retakes, not easy for FaZe. They're gonna keep bringing out the Solace. It doesn't really grant them that much so far in this matchup, especially because they keep losing that operator early in the round. One thing that has changed, however, is both Omai and the Jaeger are being brought to the table as FaZe to try and break this bar defense by going back there one more time, try and turn that result from a loss into a victory. The strategical difference here is completely flipped though. They can now hold upstairs with the Asami Jaeger Omai combination, and Heroic will have to break it apart. They can't just play around it.
Keep a barrier still generating 4 souls. 30 seconds in, quiet. Lots of quiet. Astro goes undiscovered on trophy stairs right now. Round's getting a little bit tighter, by the way. Sloth picking up the pace as to where he was. Astro has been the saving grace of FaZe. He decides to engage. Astro dying early could be a mortal blow for them in this round. You need him to stay alive. Nitro cells were botched by Heroic on defense, and we just saw one from FaZe as well, tossed out the library window. Bullet goes down again. Bullet and Vidaking are the first 2 to die. Almost every round for FaZe.
And it's the Omai dying to a grenade while standing next to ADS as well. I mean, either Heroic, they, cleared that perfectly, or Bullet was very unfortunate with the timing of those magnets.
0-5 since coming back into this lobby is just not going to get it done against opposition that is ahead of you. Keep in mind, FaZe sits second last in this group.
FaZe now, they can't just wait around. They have to act and respond. They've lost one of the half of what they care about top 4, that library hold. There's no real backup now for the last remaining defender. If Sloth can close the net here. Yep, there we go. Force FaZe back into passive positions. Heroic again slowly creep on up.
It's been a very strong spot for a Solus to play off of on library stairs though, Nick, so it doesn't matter if it's Vidaking with just a single kill or, well, the ghost of Betty White. I mean, you can still do good things from that spot. A powerful position to be in. Now it's Souls to engage, over by Chimney. He's got a soft wall next to him, but no real way to breach through it. Spotted by Joom, who's hopped in library and will continue the assault towards the main stairs. But Astro's still up. FaZe still very much in this, even though they really haven't done much to dent this Heroic offense. Only Sloth has taken a bit of damage, and it's not much.
Again, Heroic, they get the advantage. When Sloth is set, don't give them anything. Play it tight together, play for that post plant. You gotta get that diffuser down or go for an execute soon.
Cyber trying to control that SMG-12. What a thankless job that is. Joom continuing his incredible performance, and it's another flawless round. Good lord!
Look at you! What is he doing? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Let's fucking go, Joom!
Fucking go.
Yeah, good job, Juven. Good job, man. Did I enter the one?
Yeah, you did.
I'm not making excuses,
No.
No.
Nice double push there, brother.
but FaZe performed really well in that first half, and Joom was just not effective. Now, we are looking at an attacker-sided Chalet. 4 rounds on attack for FaZe, and so far Heroic have 4 as well. Assuming that this pattern holds, FaZe Clan should win this round. We go to overtime.
Okay.
I mean, this is Heroic's map, so
Yeah.
maybe they're just a better team on an attacker-sided map, and they'll win 5, we don't know. But Joom just wasn't playing up to snuff, and he was the one who had the tech issues. So they restarted, seemed to fix things, and now Sid's coming back to the lobby. 9 kills over 5 rounds.
It's impressive. But the thing is, we can talk about Heroic when they're doing well in terms of numbers. FaZe, 0-5 Bullet, 1-5 Viking. That's not exactly where you want to be on the board, especially because they're not the supportive, network that are playing on the bomb side, that are playing 2 versus 5. Not at all. These are the first 2 out of 3 people finding contact against Heroic, just loosening their opening duels time and time again. And it's not even to guns half the time, it's to those damn grenades the Sloth keeps tossing on out. He's hitting their marks. And sure, Bullet, he keeps bringing the Wamai nowadays. He wants to stay safe. It is Bullet last round on the Wamai that died to a grenade.
Obviously, you don't want to rag on a player who's having a bad match. But I think calling attention to how their contributions are not helping the team is important in this case. Bullet is obviously helping with utility. That's indisputable. But Bullet also dying early on and not providing any firepower whatsoever for FaZe. That's a huge hindrance to the team at this point. In this map in particular, Bullet has been largely invisible.
That certainly is problematic. Heroic again with the utility clear, slowly but surely is taken away step by step. First to be the magnets, second the deployable shields, third the positions that FaZe they want to hold on to. Bullet aggressing forwards, does some confidence left in him.
Noodle engaging with Astro. Astro will get away. The Oryx capable of covering great distances quite quickly. Bullet first to die on his team, but technically not the first to die overall. That was Noodle, but it's a trade either way. No team walks away with an advantage. But again, Bullet in a position where he's hunted down. Play him in sheltered minutes. Play him in a safer spot. Right now, he's just not getting the job done.
Shield gets clear from Heroic. They get the info with the Gemini clone. FaZe, they're still fighting for Master Adventure, but they've lost office control.
And the walls seem to be closing in quite fast, Nick. Heroic fired up. Look at that. Another kill. Everybody's dying. It's just souls upstairs inside a solarium. About to become his literal namesake right now. Call him alives. Bodies, if you do. 1 minute in a 1v4. A 1v3 if you consider that Joom is down, but gets picked back up. Business as usual for Heroic. Uno with Diffuser getting planted. That's yet another objective in the column of the European team. And it's Sloth, who had a bit of a struggle to find his footing, but recovered quite gracefully. Heroic take their map 7-5.
A great start for Heroic, and then FaZe, they really turned up, but some timeouts, some tech timeouts, and Heroic, they find their footing, and FaZe, they're looking to make the next map of Bank go their favor.
The last 4 rounds, FaZe only mustered 3 kills? Was that by my math?
3 or 4.
1 kill in round 9 or 2 kills in round 9, 1 kill in round 10, 1 kill in round 12, none in round 11. It doesn't matter what team it is, it doesn't matter if they got here through a qualifier, it doesn't matter if they just formed right before they made it to SI. That's just not good enough.
No.
It really isn't. FaZe were not the team on Chalet. They were on attack. Defense not the case. Heroic end up doing quite well. And now both teams will reset to go to FaZe's map of Bank.